This is 14.2 Designing Exercise Programs Client 1. I got the details of my client and asked them a couple questions about their general life. I also did a PARQ on them. I found out a few things about my client, these being that they have no medical background but does like to drink alcohol occasionally, and they live with their family. They work and have a bad sleeping pattern, and they don't eat much veg in their nutrition. They have about 2 to 3 of 5 a day each day. And then the only barrier to exercise is that he has games that we'd have to work around, and he plays basketball at EAPBL level, which is at college level, which is at the highest level he can play at right now. My client's target is by 3 weeks to have up their weight and reps in all things that they are participating in, and by the end of 6 weeks to have an increase in their cardiovascular and muscular endurance. My client stated that he wanted to improve his fitness levels and cardiovascular endurance, and this is why I've involved a certain training types such as circuit and interval. I've picked these two because if I focus on just cardiovascular endurance when playing, I feel like these all cover different sides of my client's fitness levels. For example, interval training is training at a high intensity for a long period of time, whereas with circuit training, this is working at a high intensity for a short period of time, and then followed with 1 to 3 of the time working, then resting, and also focuses in on more than one exercise. My client also stated that he wanted to improve his muscle endurance as well, so I've put in 2 sessions a week of weight training. This training will be specific to his sport and position, and also what he feels is his biggest weakness and is therefore affecting his performance. Over the weeks, we'll change up what we are focusing on, and we'll even out what he does and what muscle groups he focuses on, so that he isn't doing certain muscles more than others to keep his body equal and good shapes. I will also be changing the different types of training throughout the weeks. On Monday, my client would start by performing a warm-up. I'll get them to do a 2-minute low-intensity jog to act as a pulse raiser. This would then be followed by dynamic stretches like lunges, open the gate, calf sweeps, ankle rolls, and then some more static stretches on his arms as well. After this, my client should be fully warmed up and ready to start the exercise. The exercise that he will be doing is circuit training. This training consists of 40-minute work for 4 sets of 6 seconds work with 60 seconds work with 20-second break in between each set. He will perform this twice. This will involve my client doing a minute work of jogging to then sprints. He will do a 10-meter jog and then followed by a 15-minute sprint, and perform this as many times as possible in a minute, and then have 20 seconds rest. He will do a minute's worth of burpees with 20 seconds rest. In the third set, he will perform a minute's worth of box jumps. He will do it at a height that we find that is most suited for him. We're getting him to do this as it is specific to his sport, as he also needs to improve his explosive power in his legs as he jumps a lot in basketball. Finally, the final set, he will jog for a minute straight around the park. He will then perform the exact routine again for the same duration and have a 2-minute break in between each set and do 4 sets. This will then be the end of the session, and then we'll have to do a cool down after, consisting of a low intensity jog followed by static stretches like lunges, squats, hamstring sweeps, holding the leg up behind the bum, etc. On Tuesday, my client will have a rest day due to him having a game the following day for college, but I will get my client to foam roll and stretch anything that's feeling stiff so that he is prepared for his game the next day and is able to play at his best ability. This will be the same for every week, as is a college game every Wednesday. On Wednesday, we will not do any exercise together, as my client has basketball matches there and needs to save all of his energy for that. On Thursday, I've put in one of my client's weight training sessions on this day. This is as he will have had a game the day before and may be very tired, and although weight training will require a lot of energy, I believe it is good for him to do it on this day as it doesn't involve loads of running. This will be the case for every week. We will start off by getting my client to perform a simple warm-up where he will stretch the muscle groups that he is going to be working on for that day. For example, on this day he will be working on legs, so he will do lunges and open the gate, leg pullovers while lying down and kick-outs. Once this is done, he will begin his session. He will start by doing squats. When he does this, he will start off by doing 3 sets of 10 with the weight being at around 60 kg, as this is what he says he is working at already at the moment before we started the program. We will also get him to do calf raises in the gym as they work on his spring when jumping, as he needs this for jumping to shoot or dunking. With this as well, we will get the suited weight for him and do 3 or 4 sets of 10 reps. We will then finish the session with a cool down where he will stretch out whatever muscles he has been working on and do the same stretches as he did in the warm-up, but just hold the stretches for longer in a static position. On Friday we will be doing interval training. We will start with a warm-up where we will be doing a low intensity 2-minute jog followed by dynamic stretches like lunges, open the gate, calf sweeps, ankle rolls, and then some more static stretches on his arms as well. On this day my client will be performing interval training. This will consist of my client travelling at different speeds from cone to cone. There will be 4 cones laid out, all being 10 metres apart from each other. From the first cone to the second cone, my client will need to walk, and then once he gets to the next cone, he will then jog to the next one, and then to the final cone is 15 metres away, and he will then have to sprint to the last cone. He will do this 3 times. That just being 1 set, and he'll do 3 sets with each time with the second time the cones getting 5 metres apart, and then the final time he will do it with a basketball. In between each set he will get 2 minutes rest, and also after each go they walk back to the start, where this is where they get their rest during each set. After this they will then do a cool down consisting of a jog from 1 cone and back, and then do some stretches like hamstring, calf sweeps, open the gate, lunges, and to finish off with some kickouts. On Saturday my client works and then normally ends up going out in the night with his friends, so therefore doesn't have enough time to do a session, but I would suggest for my client to try and go on a 20 to 30 minute jog or walk in the morning before work, so that he is at least doing some sort of exercise this day instead of none. This will be the case every week. Then on Sunday we are back to the program where my client will perform another weight training session, but this session will be on his chest and biceps. We will start off by getting my client to perform a 1 rep max on bench press. We will then get him to perform 65% of his 1 rep max in 3 sets, with each set having 8 reps in. Then I would get my client to move on to incline press, where he would do 30% of his 1 rep max on each arm for the same amount of sets and reps as he did for bench press. The last thing he will be performing on chest is flies, and he will do 12.5 kg on each arm and then do 3 sets with 10 reps. Then we will do biceps, where he will do 12 kg on each arm, just doing normal bicep curls for 3 sets with 10 reps on each arm. Then he will do hammer curls with 10 kg in each arm for the same amount of sets and reps as did in normal curls. He will then finish and get a 10 kg bar and do 20 reps for 2 sets straight out to act as a finisher. In week 2 we have changed up some of the training types we're going to be doing. So on Monday my client will be performing his first HIIT training session. I've done this due to the fact that it will prevent tedium, and it's a different way for my client to hit his goals. It's good as you can do both weight training and cardiovascular training together and without other training and with our other training types, you aren't able to do this as much. It's also good as it targets burning fats and putting on muscle in a quicker period, as it is a high intensity throughout, so burns fats quicker, so more can be burnt in the total time that we will participate in. We will start by doing a warm up where my client will need to do stretches on the muscles, quads, hamstrings, calves, and then on their shoulders and arms. Then my client will be ready for the HIIT session that I'll go in the order of butt kicks for 45 seconds, jump squats for 45 seconds, burpees for 45 seconds, mountain climbers for 45 seconds, alternating side lunges for 45 seconds, jumping lunges for 45 seconds, mountain climbers for 40 seconds, forearm plank for 20 seconds. They will then get 2 minutes rest and will have to repeat the whole session for a second time. My client will then need to finish the session with a cool down on the same muscle groups that he did in the warm up. On Tuesday, this is my client's rest day, and on Wednesday, this is also a rest day as it's the day my client has a basketball game. On Thursday, my client will perform a weight training session again where we will be targeting his shoulders and traps. To start off with shoulders, we will start by doing sat down shoulder press with 3 weights on both of his arms. We will start off by doing 16 kg on each arm, doing 3 sets of 10 reps if needed on the last set to either increase or decrease the weight by 2 kg on each arm, depending on how my client found doing 16 kg in the other sets. We will then go on to pull downs. This is a machine that works the participant's back of their shoulder as they are having to pull down a certain amount of weight on each arm with the weight resistant. This will be found in the gym that we will be at. We will start with a weight of 28 kg in total. He can pull down with both arms at the same time or one after another, whichever he is more comfortable with doing, as they are both fine and do the same thing. To finish off his shoulder sessions, we will add in a little circuit of 3 exercises working his shoulders. 2 of these are arm raises, but one he will raise in front of him, and then the other to the side across his front. And the final exercise he has to rate. He will do 10 reps on each, with 20 seconds break in between each exercise, and will do each exercise 3 times. For traps, he will do trap raises where he puts his hands in the middle of the bar, thumb width apart, and then raises the bar up to his chin. He will do 3 sets of this for 10 reps in each at a weight of 15 kg. To cool down, he'll do stretches on the shoulder where he rotates his stretches in a full circle, going forwards and then backwards. On Friday, we will start with a warm-up where he will perform a low-intensity 2-minute jog followed by dynamic stretches like lunges, open the gate, calf sweeps, ankle rolls, and some more stretches on his arms as well. On this day, my client will be performing interval training. This will consist of running in different directions, as last week we did running just forwards, so this will also help his agility, which is crucial in basketball when trying to beat their man. We will mark out 4 cones in a box all 5 meters apart from each other. The participant will start at the first cone when instructed. He will have to run straight to the next cone and then to the side to the next cone and then backwards to the last cone. He will stay facing the same way throughout the whole exercise, so he's moving in different directions. He then has to run back the same way he came from, still facing the same way. He has to do this 4 times, and in between each time he gets 1 minute rest. This exercise will only take around 10 to 15 minutes. He will do this 2 times, but the second time the distance between each cone will be up to 7 meters with a 2-minute rest in between each turn. On Saturday, this is my client's rest day due to being busy. On Sunday, we will perform another weight training session, and this time it being on his back and triceps. He will warm up by doing some bodyweight pull-ups. He will do 2 sets of 12 reps. We will start on back where he does bent over rows. We will find the weight that is most suited for my participant when we're there, and he'll do 3 sets of 8 reps on this. He will then perform on his rear delts and again find the right weight for my client when we are there. He will do 3 sets of 12 reps on this. He will then finish off his back workout with doing some pull-ins. This is on a machine where he starts with his hands in front of him and then pulls in towards his chest. He will then move on to triceps where he will start off by doing some body weight tricep dips and 2 sets of 12. Then we will do some tricep pull downs on the cables. The rope will start above him and then pull down the rope to around his waist, and we'll perform 3 sets of 10 using the same equipment. He will do the same going over his head from behind and do 3 sets of 12 reps on this as well.